It's time for another Dirt Daily, and I am at Steer Smarts in Michigan working on the CJL-10. This is a CJ-10 on a JL chassis. It still has the original Nissan diesel in it, still has the original TorqueFlite 727 transmission. It has a 4-speed Atlas, Dana 60 axle in the front, Dana Ultimate 80 in the rear, 37-inch tires. It's going to have different tires and wheels, but we have it mocked up right now. This is the situation for this episode. I am leaving. I am going to head down to Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Then I'm going to go to Pennsylvania and see my parents, go to the family farm for a little bit, check on everybody back east because I haven't been back east in a while. Tony and Mike are going to tag in. They are going to do some more work on it. The cab needs a little bit of work to get it just in the perfect spot. There's tons of things to do. Suspension needs tightened up. We're going to have to figure out where the fuel tank's going to go. There's lots of stuff. So I'm going to check out for a little bit. Tony and Mike will be your hosts for some more of this episode, and then I will be back. I will be checking in, so don't worry. It's not gonna run completely amok, but this is what I'm leaving right now, and I'm hoping when I come back, it looks a little bit different, or at least it's closer to be ready to get that flatbed put on, because we gotta get it up to Canada to Tony's wedding for the bar. This is gonna be where we stand around and have a beer and toast Tony and his new bride for their wedding. So, we still got a lot to do, and we're running out of time. Let's get to work. Actually, Tony and Mike get to work. I'm getting out of here.
All right. I'm Tony Carvello, also known as Tony from Detroit in a lot of Fred's old Dirt Everyday episodes. Yep. And this is Mike,
also known as
Mike.
And I like Jeeps. Do you like Jeeps?
So yes, for people that just, man, I'm all messed up here.
Yeah.
That's okay. We cut that part.
So, yeah.
And
it's okay. Fred will let this all out.
Yeah.
All right, here.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. That's all we need to do, really.
Yeah.
It's just an intro.
Right.
We don't have to explain anything more.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Do you feel like we need to put more?
No.
No. Yeah, back up. Yeah, there we go. All right, okay, ready? Here we are, Dirt Daily, without Fred.
Without Fred, your new host. We're taking over the channel, or at least this video.
Yeah, Fred is out doing Hollywood stuff in Smoky Mountain.
Yep.
So he left us to continue the mission to finish this vehicle so we can have it at my wedding. So ironic that he left. Now we have to do it, but I think we got this.
I think we got this.
We got this.
Some cutting, some grinding, some
Yes.
fine tuning.
Some fine tuning, lots of fine tuning. We're
Yes.
gonna cut some parts of the body. We gotta figure out how to position the body just right so then it's not, hitting the engine, mounted properly.
Dipsticks,
Yeah, that too. And the body mounts, they don't all match, of course, big surprise. But we're gonna have to make some brackets to make the body mounts work. Weld those mounts in place, then finish the front, weld the gussets and the body mount for the front clip in the frame. Then we still have to finish the front axle install. Then we also have to do the PSC.
Well, we're going to do the PSC kit while the front axle is out.
Yes,
Because
a lot
the
easier.
steering box is pretty big and bulky and going to fit right in this area here. Figured, you know what, the best time to do it is with that axle out of the way. Mm-hmm. Give us more room to work around instead of trying to press a 60-pound steering gear, because those big bore boxes are no joke. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot easier if we don't have to work around all that stuff. So get that in place while we have the axle out. Do a little more cutting, grinding, clearance for dipsticks, and get this thing ready.
We're gonna try to do this entertaining. Apologize, Fred's not in this episode, but we're gonna try our best. One other thing I'd like to add is during this episode, I feel it'd be fitting and kind of neat to tell some Fred stories throughout the episode. Good idea.
You probably have a lot of Fred stories.
I do have a lot of Fred stories, so I'm going to share with them with you guys.
Fred, you're not allowed to edit these out. Stay in.
Stay in. Stay in.
Let's get to work.
All right, so here are some of the struggles of this crazy project that we're doing here for Fred and the CJ truck beer delivery bar vehicle thing.
CJL-10.
The CJL-10. The CJL-10. You know, some of the struggles are obviously, this thing's been abused. Look at this. This is the body mount that was kind of just barely hanging on for life. So we still want to reuse this. We still want to use that point, and we're gonna repurpose these brackets and weld them to the frame and make them mount perfectly below this and make that work. But I have to clean this whole mess up, and I'm gonna try to re-weld, clean this whole thing up, re-weld, and put some patches on there, and then put this thing back in properly and re-weld that. Then on this side here we have the dipstick for the transmission is hitting hard in the tunnel, so I'm gonna have to cut that out, open that whole area up, so then we can actually move the body forward, I don't know, half an inch. If we can move the body forward half an inch, that alleviates some space for the radiator fan and radiator to live, and the front clip of the vehicle to fit properly. So this is all the struggles we're having with old and new and beat down. So that's what we're dealing with. So, but I got a Fred story now. I promised some Fred stories, so here's one. Did you guys know that when you're wrenching with Fred and you have music playing in the background, he will sing to the song, but the lyrics, he changes them to whatever situation we're at right now and whoever's wrenching with him during the song. So it's kind of funny. He makes it pretty funny. So that's a Fred story, and that's what he does.
Fred
Does it all the time.
karaoke, completely customized.
Customized karaoke to vehicle and people. It's hilarious. All right, that's it. Today is a special day. We've been working hard on the CJ10 build, getting stuff going, but we got the big guns coming in today. We got my dad and my kids coming. Yep, my kids. They've been used to seeing show vehicles and being around the shop, for many years. I think going way back from Mopar Blue Crush and the Mopar Immortal. I think I have pictures of them, like little toddlers just walking around and running around the vehicle in that time frame. So it's kind of cool to see them as teenagers now helping out and being part of this. So it'll be cool. So stay tuned. Hey! This is the Carvalho crew. Team Carvalho.
Yeah.
All right.
It would be helpful.
Yeah. You got it? Okay, so this is my dad. This is Cameron, Brody, and Dexter. They're coming here to help wrench on the CJ10 build. It's going to be exciting. Dad, what do you think?
Well, I see it's quite different cheap, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Excited.
All right, awesome. Here we go. All right, cool. Got that off. Okay, buddy. So what'd you learn today?
Top off.
What's that?
Learn how to take the top off of that.
The top off of that so you took the top off of that thing right there, right? That was a lot of work, wasn't it?
It was stuck. Yeah, there's a lot of like glue and ceramic.
A lot of screws and stuff? Yeah.
Stuff stuck in there.
All right. Okay, cool. All right, Cam, what'd you learn today?
That electric things take 12 hours to charge.
So what'd you learn on this one?
Don't put the stuff in the right spot. You have to do it again.
Yeah. Right, because what happened was this one arm was a little bit lower than the other one, so it was twisting everything. right? You realize that because when you were trying to hit this lever, it was binding. So then you just re-twisted it, right? Made sure it was even on both sides, right? So that was cool. That was good. You did it all on your own. Good job. All right. We've been working for quite a few hours with the whole Carvalho team. Dad, what do you think?
Well, we went ahead. We removed the roof. The winch was down finally.
Yeah.
You know, conquer the rust.
Yeah, we got the windshield down because the seals are all bad. We need to replace all the seals.
It looks more sporty now.
Yeah, a little sporty. So what do you think of the project, Dad?
Oh, yeah, excellent. Yeah, really, it's very cool.
Cool, right?
Diesel engine, quite different design.
Yeah, that diesel engine's pretty neat, right?
Really army.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to like work with the grandsons, right?
Sure, yeah, that's better.
And teach them a little bit, right? You know, on this cool project.
Force them to do some work.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Dad. Peace out.
Bye.
All right. Been working hard on the body, trying to get the body prepared and ready for the body mounts, because we are retrofitting this 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL frame and making the mounts or making new mounts for the cab and the front clip to exist. And it's a challenge, but man, I gotta show you this craziness right here. The bottom of this tub is just so nasty with this tar stuff. Check it out. This nastiness, right? It is so hard to scrape and so hard to like get off. Holy moly, is it complicated. So the body mount goes right there and it's all just whipped and just completely annihilated. So it's a spider web of cracks. I did a pretty good redneck kind of fix and re-welded all the cracks. You could see some of the protrusion here of my welds. Yeah, it's probably not the best and ideal. It could be done a whole lot better and smoother, but we're in a time crunch, very serious time crunch. So I just welded all the spider webs of cracks, then put another flange on the inside, clean the inside, and then I'm just not bothering with this crazy tar. It's nuts. I'm gonna let Fred do that later on at another time because it's not fun. But yes, it will eventually feature a bracket that you're gonna see kind of like what I just made right there. Not welded yet, but I'm just kind of mocking it, making sure. I'm gonna carve out the corners a little bit to make it a little bit cleaner looking and gusset it a little bit here and there. And it'll be ready in a few hours. So I'll get the back mounts complete. And once I get the back mounts complete, it's fixed in its location. And then I will finish the front mounts. The front mounts are gonna be a challenge because the frame ramps up like this and the body also ramps up like this in a slope. So roughly like a 30-45 degree slope. So that body mount's gonna be in an angle. So I have to make something kind of clever to kind of mount to this frame. So stay tuned. All right, here is what is left over from the CJ-10 build. This is the frame and chassis that's left and kind of kicked to the side. It's kind of sad. I'm sure we'll repurpose that, or Fred will have some crazy idea with this vehicle. But I thought I'd share kind of a strategy that I use in building some of these show vehicles or crazy builds in the past. And I tend to do this quite often. You know, like how do I know all the measurements and angles, especially if something that's this old? To find the drawings or CAD is probably very, very difficult. So how do I get the points and measurements? So this is kind of what I do, and I will show you. And again, I'm sure there's 10 other ways to do it, but this is just the way I do it. What I do is I take pictures, and in the pictures I make all the measurements and I make the marks so that I can really like look back and understand where the measurements were taken and kind of document each one of those things and then use that as reference. Like for here, I measured where the engine is and specific points on the engine. So then when we put it in the actual JL frame, we can make sure we're matching the same points, right? It's very difficult to do so, but the more measurements, the better. And also the angles, the better. So that's kind of what I do. So I take pictures in every angle, print it, make it in black and white, and then I draw and sketch on top of that. And that's what I do. All right, so here is a Fred story. I promised more Fred stories, so here's one. Or things about Fred. So, you might know if you watch his show and when he's traveling that he tends to go for coffee. So, Fred is crazy about his coffee, and crazy enough in the fact that that he only goes to mom pop specialty eclectic coffee shops, and when he's traveling, he doesn't care if it's a half an hour out of his way in his GPS coordinates. He will go off the course to make sure that he hits this special or unique coffee shop across America. And I've done it with him many, many times where we're now driving on a dirt road up a mountain just to go to this one coffee shop so you can get a coffee there and enjoy it. So that is what Fred does everywhere he goes, constantly. Even here right now at Steer Smarts, he's already pinpointed multiple coffee shops that he's going to drive to go and make sure he's got his good cappuccino. All right, we got another Fred story. Ready? How I met Fred. Somebody's asked, Tony, how'd you meet Fred? Or how'd you guys get together? And how that happened was in, I forget what year. I think it was 2007, 2008. Shoot, I don't know, something like that. Where I built some show vehicles through Mopar to be displayed in the Easter Jeep Safari Underground event, and all the media personnel were invited to come and get an exclusive shot and look on some of these show vehicles. And at that time, I needed to kind of just sit back, make sure the vehicles are all operating and everything was good. So I kind of just sat back and enjoyed the show while the vehicles were all done. And honestly, it was kind of very, very satisfying to me to see the vehicles complete and operating and people enjoying them. So I was sitting back, and then Fred rolled up in his truck and trailer with, which I believe he called the Fun Buggy, with portals. And holy moly, I've never seen them before. And there were unique portals. And he came up and sat kind of close by to enjoy a sandwich or a drink before he started entertaining the executives at Jeep and Mopar. And I noticed him, and I looked over to him and I said, "Hey, is that portals on that vehicle?" He's like, yeah, they're portals. They're pretty cool. And he started kind of telling me some stories about it. And I thought I was really intrigued. And then he asked me, what's your involvement with these vehicles? And I'm like, I was heavily involved in building, that one, and that one. And he asked me some questions, and I was excited to answer them. And that's what started our friendship right there. It was like, we both were just really excited about the builds and the uniqueness of some of these components. And then we just kept talking and passing information on and strategizing different builds, and that's where we started. So we started there. Okay, so I have to, how do I say this? I think it's interesting and funny that I need to share this with you guys. Okay, so earlier today, my dad and my kids came by to help wrench on the CJ-10 build. It was a great time. I loved it. It was fun to watch, but there was something on camera that I wanted to capture, and it just just didn't happen and couldn't work. So I'm going to explain to you why. All right, so my dad, when he walked in, he also wanted to indicate as soon as the video was over and as soon as we said, okay, let's go, he said, oh man, there's a lot of work. This is crazy. Like, Tony, what are you and Fred up to? This is ridiculous. Like, how much time do you have? You only have a few more weeks, man. This is crazy. Oh boy, Tony, shaking his head. And then I thought, oh yeah, Dad, like, let's put that on camera. Let's get back and put that on. And then we tried to do that again, and then he just kept saying, oh, this is great. This is amazing. Like, I'm here with my kids and my grandkids. And it just couldn't come through. And I think it's funny and ironic, like, there's a backstory about my dad and working on these crazy show vehicles and Jeeps as a whole. I'm surrounded by them, right? I can't help myself, right? So I'm going to tell you the story. Let's go way back when I was a little kid, 18, 19. For years when I was a kid growing up, waiting for my license, can't wait for my license and can't wait to drive, 16, 17 years old. All I wanted was a Jeep. I wanted a Jeep so bad because I was inspired by a Rick Payway article that he wrote about him and his buddies preparing for the Rubicon Trail and getting these Jeeps together and going on this adventure. And it just resonated with me. I just loved it. And I was from there then hooked, and I'm building Jeeps and I'm doing this. And at that time, growing up, my dad would fix people's cars on a regular basis. Growing up, that's kind of what was seen in my garage, and I was the oldest of the kids that was always handing the 10 millimeter, knowing where that was, and holding all the tools and the measuring tape and all that stuff to help him get the vehicles finished. And that's how I learned a lot of those skills. But in all those years, he kept saying to me, you're getting a Toyota. When you get your license, you're getting a Toyota, you're getting a Honda Civic, Corolla, you're going to get that. And I kept saying, no, I want a Jeep. Like, I'm getting a Jeep, right? Yeah, there's no brain. I'm getting a Jeep. And he got mad at me saying, don't be ridiculous. That's just lots of headaches and a lot of work, and all those people just get crazy working on their Jeeps like crazy. And so when I got 19 to the age of having my money and ready, I wanted to buy a damn Jeep, and I didn't care what it took. I was going to go buy it. I went around my dad and convinced my mom to come with me to co-sign because I was only 19. And I went and bought a brand new Jeep Wrangler YJ. Yeah, YJ. That's how old I am. I'm old. And I bought that thing, and he was so mad and so frustrated with me, saying, good luck, this is terrible. Why'd you do that? You should have bought a Toyota Corolla. And I was happy with the Jeep. I loved it. And then I immediately started going off-roading. And at that time, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what off-roading was. And yeah, there wasn't the internet, well, at least the internet in full bore that it is today, that you can get all the information you want in the world. So I just thought, you jumped it and you did things. So 2 months later or 3 months later, I decided this thing is sweet. It's rad. It's unstoppable. So I decided I was going to jump this farm ditch and show all my friends how cool this thing is. And so I backed up in this farm field and raced and floored it. And yep, didn't make it. And I learned really, really hard and the hard way that, oh yeah, when you're in four-wheel drive, full speed and jumping in the air, and if you land on the back tires, because I did, I biffed it. I hit the back tires, then the front tires came in. As soon as that front tire landed back while I was still throttling, it just grenaded everything, like everything. This is a brand new Jeep Wrangler JL, YJ. So remember, brand new YJ, 1990 YJ. So I grenaded the transmission, the transfer case, both drive shafts and the rear axle, just completely annihilated. Just fluids everywhere, just draining everywhere. It was a disaster. So had to call tow truck. By the time we got the tow truck and delivered it to my parents' house where I was living at the time, it was like 2 a.m, late at night, and I woke up everyone in the neighborhood with this tow truck, you know, beeping, beep, 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 just crashing all these broken parts in this Jeep into the driveway, cobblestone driveway, by the way. And yeah, that made my dad mad. So what he did was the next morning, he woke up early and went to the library where he got like one of those, I forget if it was Chilton or whatever, but it was like an OEM level, like super thick service manual or, you know, repair manual. And he brought it home because, again, the internet wasn't in full bore, and left it there and waited for me. So when I woke up, because I was tired from the crazy night before, I came down and my dad just basically said, I told you not to buy that Jeep. Now it's all broken. I'm not fixing it, not working on it. You're fixing it. So you got to figure it out. And little did he know that that was like one of the coolest things I've ever had to accomplish, because now I'm 19, green as hell, and I now have to figure out how to put a transmission together, put a transfer case together, figure out drive shafts, and put an axle together. And at that time, there wasn't like Facebook Marketplace or other internet sources to be able to just quickly get a brand new YJ, because yes, it was still brand new components. So I had to just like buy parts and figure out how to assemble them. And trust me, I made plenty of mistakes. I struggled with it for months, but eventually figured it out. And what it did to me was it got me more addicted and more addicted. And I knew that I wanted to be a Jeep engineer. I'm going to go there. I'm going to work there. I'm going to keep building these things. These are super sweet. And yeah, that's what started the disease. And I'm still doing it today. And it's cool to see my dad now, like, loving it and appreciating it, of course. And he totally, he gets my career is this and this craziness. So sometimes he kind of struggles with it, going, why are you working so crazy? So crazy. So here it is. That's the story. All right, here we are. The rear mounts are done, welded in place in the JL frame. They look good, happy with it. Now, got to work on the front. The front's going to be complicated because we got this like angle going on here, and the side profile of the cab is really thin here. So I'm going to make something that kind of sandwiches the two pieces of metal on the floor that's in the angle, and mounting the old piece of mount for the original CJ-10 mounted to the frame. So kind of combining the two to make them work. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, been playing around with this front tub body mount, and it's been a bit of a challenge, and the challenge is really the slope of the body
is in an angle, and the frame in that same spot is sloping up in the JL. But I realized that the front body mount, that the existing body mount for the JL is right close by, and it's so nice to use. I'm gonna try to use it. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make that the mounting point. And I'm gonna kind of, I don't know, make it a very, very simple bracket plate, sandwich the two plates in the floor of the tub to then extend a bracket down. So I'm going to show you here. All right, so like I said, here's my little sketch. So these are going to be two plates. They're going to be sandwiching the body, the floor of the body. I'm going to weld this onto the one side of the flange, and then I'm going to weld a nut inside this square tubing, and then the body mount, the rubber, then mounted onto the JL frame. So this combination is what I'm going to hopefully create and weld together. And let me just explain to you and show you actually on the body. So here in the bottom of the firewall, you could see straight down the frame. And if you look carefully, see that body mount right there? So I just retrofitted one of the old CJ body mounts, the rubber, and it fits not snug, but good on the actual existing JL frame bracket. So the problem is right here, this is the slope that I'm talking about. And let me just explain here. Trying to get underneath here. So you see what I'm saying? That slope, I have to translate that slope back into that bracket. So that's the challenge. And you can see the condition of this floor is nasty. Let me show you the inside. Let me turn my light all the way. Ta-da! Bum, 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 bum. That floor is gone. Gone. So Fred ordered the floor, the new floor piece. So we're gonna cut this piece off. You could see it was already patched a long time ago. Probably not a great job. Just looks like a piece of metal they just riveted on. So we're gonna cut all that piece out, mount the new floor. But because we wanna make that flange mount that we were talking about earlier, I'm gonna stick that flange right here and I'm gonna bolt it down somewhere right here. And I gotta measure that, kind of figure out where the best position is and move some things around. So yeah, it's crazy stuff. We'll get it working. Okay, it is time for another Fred story. Okay, this one here, I think it's kind of funny and comical. For years, I've been going Easter Jeep Safari for Jeep Corporation and Mopar, and it's been an amazing adventure to go there and showcase the vehicles and get out there. And then Fred's been going there for the same amount of years, doing his thing. And you know, him and I are buddies. We're really busy doing our thing, and it's kind of hard to try to connect and try to wheel together with all the craziness of Easter Safari. That the whole week is just piled with a bunch of activities, a bunch of things, and things that we got to do. So we decided, I don't know how long ago, but we decided that on the Wednesday, the middle of the week, we would get together and do a night run. So a night run, and it started in Hell's Revenge, and for some reason it just stuck to Hell's Revenge. And you know, Fred would invite a bunch of his friends, and I'd invite a bunch of my friends, and we'd meet at Hell's Revenge at 10 o'clock at night at the parking lot. And usually it was just a good time kind of hanging out the parking lot for a little while, and then everyone's usually late. And Fred leads the pack. So we line up and we get going. By that time, it's already 11 o'clock at night, and we start hitting the trails, and Fred leads. And usually it's kind of like, I don't know, 15 deep of Jeeps, maybe 20. And we all lined up, we start going, we're all excited, and we start hitting the trail pretty fast. We're not doing it slow, we go quick. And for some crazy reason, every year, Fred gets us lost. And halfway through that trail, I don't know, it's 1 in the morning now, and we're lost. And we're just disoriented, and the whole crew gets separated, and people are now going in all different directions trying to figure out ways to get out. And the next morning we're all calling each other saying how everyone managed to get out of the trail. And it's just comical, because then the next year we get back and we're like, yeah, Fred, don't get us lost next time, don't get us lost. And yep, we get lost again. And then a year again, we get lost. So every year we keep getting lost in the trail at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and it makes it a really long night, but it makes it kind of funny. So that's another Fred story every year. Here we are, Dirt Daily. Tony Carvalho, again, another Fred story for you guys, another Fred story. So this one in particular, I flew out to Fred's house, getting ready for Easter Jeep Safari. I don't remember what year that was, but this one was an interesting one. So I flew in. Fred was excited because he got a dually Ram, a brand new dually Ram from Stellantis, or FCA at the time. And he also had a trailer, a really large gooseneck trailer. So his intention was, I'm gonna bring all my toys. So he was excited to bring all his toys, and the toys that he wanted to bring was Tube Sock, Summer Camp Jeep, and the Mad Maxus. So those are some heavy vehicles. Well, Tube Sock not so much, but Summer Camp Jeep and the Maxus
vehicle was really heavy. So we put that on the trailer. I was a little bit concerned. I even mentioned it to Fred. I'm like, is that a lot of weight on this thing? I don't know. Like, Mad Max is really heavy. Like, that thing's probably pushing 9,000 pounds. Kind of slightly exaggeration, but probably. Regardless, we hopped in it. We drove off. We're excited. We're going to Moab, Easter Jeep Safari.
Hey everybody, we're headed to Moab. Guess what we're taking? We're taking the Mad Maxus Off-Road Runner. That's right. Oh, guess what else? We're taking the Ultimate Summer Camp Jeep. Oh, and guess what else? Tube Sock. We're taking everything to Moab this year. We'll see you there.
And halfway there, or 3/4 of the way there, I think we were close to, actually no, we were close to Kingman, and in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden, one of the tires, or two of the tires of that trailer just pop and just take off. And the trailer gets all kind of wonky. We pull over, we run out, what the hell happened? And Fred and I, with some flashlights, because it's in the middle of the night, we were trying to get to Moab, so whatever it took, we were doing the night run. And with flashlights, flip-flops and shorts, walking around the desert area looking for the tire and wheels, which was kind of dumb, because how in the hell are we going to find those tires? And also at the same rate, it's probably not a good idea, flip-flops at the night inside like the bushy areas of the desert. Probably a lot of critters that would like to bite you. So we thought and realized that was dumb. Turned around, got back to the trailer, realized that the load was just too much. We took Mad Maxus off the trailer because it was at the end to lighten the load. We, with ratchet straps, kind of held the one axle with no tire now up above, barely, I'm saying like 3 inches off the highway ground. And we thought, let's just cripple this off. We know that the exit to Kingman is like right around the corner. We'll just cobble this thing over and pull over. I will drive the Mad Maxus behind. And that's what we did. So we started driving, carefully driving, and to my surprise, we start turning off, and Fred like put his signal on to turn right, and the truck stop was on the left, and I'm kind of confused. We pull in, and he pulls right into this parking lot, into this building, and right at the front, parks it. I drive up with the Mad Maxus. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, this is good, this is perfect. And I said, this is a police station. Why are we parking at the front? He's like, this is the safest place. So we decided to park the Mad Maxus in a parking spot, the truck and trailer and the axle pretty much hanging off the side. And we slept there in the truck and woke up with a whole bunch of cops around us and taking videos of the vehicles. And they didn't mind, and they thought it was kind of funny. And that's the story. We then had to unload all the vehicles, drag that trailer a few hours away to swap it with another trailer, to then turn around a few hours away to come back to that police station so we can load up those Jeeps and then go to Moab. And we did, and it was a lot of fun. That's Fred's story. Hey guys, I just got a text from Fred. He is going to be here any second. Awesome.
Sweet.
Look busy.
Oh, we gotta get stuff for Batman and Baxter.
I'm back in Michigan. I went to Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, which was pretty nuts. I'd never been to this event before. Probably the biggest Jeep event I'd ever been to. Then I had to go back to Pennsylvania to my parents' family farm. I haven't seen my folks in a while. While I was there, I helped another buddy get his four-wheel drive van ready for a big upcoming trip. But Tony and Mike have been working on the project. I kind of left them in charge for a week and a half. I don't know if they got anything done. They've got a lot of stuff they have to do around Steer Smarts in addition to the project. But I'm stoked, I'm back. We have 2 weeks from today, well, I guess 2 weeks from tomorrow, to have it done and get it up to Canada for the wedding. And I know that Tony is kind of freaking out because he has a bunch of wedding stuff to go deal with, like folding napkins and picking out the center ornaments and figuring out which bow tie he's going to wear for the wedding, whatever. So we're going to go in, see what they're doing, and get back to work, which I've been itching to do. Hey, everybody.
Hey, he's back.
What's new? Hey, look at this thing.
Woo, we're ready for donuts.
Is it all done?
Buddy,
Hi.
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right. Yeah, so?
How's it going?
Well, we've been kind of bored. Kicking the tires.
What's going on?
Lots of business.
Business.
Businessman doing.
Truthfully, it is hard to do this and business.
I don't know why we did this.
Yes.
I don't know why we signed ourselves up for this
was
again.
Sucker.
Sucker, yes.
Right here, sucker.
I know. Your boss was really the one that pushed us.
He's convincing.
And then
He's convincing.
he probably didn't at once say, just stop what you're doing for work and just work on the CJL-10.
He's like, plan is working.
Yes. Work twice as much.
I'm getting it all.
All right. First of all, is there any major problem that has arisen while I was away?
No.
Everything's all that list of stuff that we talked about doing.
You know what, Mike? I don't think so, right?
Pretty smooth sailing. We were able to get a lot of stuff in when the axles were out of the way.
Yeah.
To get to steering and all that kind of good stuff before putting that back in. So doing the PSC box was easy when it's wide open.
When there's no suspension in the way.
Yeah. The body mounts, the rear. Oh, you know what was troubling?
What's that?
Welding and putting together the rear body mounts.
Oh.
That was a pain in the neck.
Because
there's probably like 20 years of tar.
On the tub.
On the tub.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
yeah.
said the frame, right? The tub. On the tub, there's like 20 years of tar and lead.
On the-
and all
the-
kinds of
all the
chemicals that are
undercoating.
probably unknown to man.
Military paint.
Yes.
Plus the tub was pretty cracked
Oh.
all around those
Dude,
mounts.
Spider web of cracks everywhere. And then when I was peeling it, you could see it's even more spiraling this way and that way.
Okay.
And because at the time, we weren't going to redo the floor.
No.
So what I had to do was re-weld all those pieces.
Nice.
And like,
Custom plates to fit
yeah,
around.
it was a quick redneck fix, but
Canadian redneck
I
fix.
mean, yeah, it's going to Canada. So that was a pain in the neck, not just because of the spider web of trying to find all the cracks, but the smell.
Oh, yeah.
The
And you were just sick.
Yeah.
So now you're probably hacking up your flu, or maybe it cured you.
It did.
Maybe there was some sort of
It coated my lungs.
antivirus in that
Coated my lungs.
in that undercoating.
I got indoor undercoating.
Undercoated lungs. Awesome.
So yeah, that was tough. Like I have to tell you, that part was really tough because the fumes, the smoke. It was the hardest welding I ever had to do because, like, even the smoke was like affecting my eyes. Like stinging the eyes. You're like
Probably 20 minutes of welding, lots of smoke, all
and
over.
I would
the
run
shop,
outside, get some
and
fresh
then
air,
outside for the fresh
weld,
air. Had to.
run outside, weld, run outside.
So did drive shafts show up?
Yes.
Yes.
Did tires show up?
Tires showed up.
There should be a bunch of parts showing up because
Oh,
I ordered new floors, I ordered fuel filters, I ordered all types of stuff.
All kinds of stuff, even from Amazon came over. I think your
Oh, yeah.
family showed up. I don't know.
I ordered all types of.
From Nemesis. Got
Oh yeah,
body armor.
the body armor.
Body armor showed up. Yeah, the RockJock stuff showed up.
The roof is off.
Yes, I got the roof off.
Did your kids come and help you?
Yes, they did.
Were they helpful?
They were the ones that took this off.
Oh,
And
perfect.
With my dad.
Nice.
Yeah, it did need extra help. So I told them to take pictures. I don't think they did.
Did your dad and your kids approve of the project?
They loved it. They thought it was rad. They wanted to come back this weekend.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's true, actually. I couldn't believe it either.
Did your dad approve of the project?
My dad did, but he would, on camera, would say one thing.
And off camera, he was like, "My son is an idiot.
This is crazy. And he has this crazy friend, Fred. Why?
Why? They need to stop being friends." All right, I'm going to wrap up this Dirt Daily. I'm going to get to work. You can show me around everything.
Yeah.
And but tomorrow we are full steam back into this thing. And there's also some history of Steer Smarts that we're going to find out on an upcoming episode.
Yes.
So, thanks for tuning in. I can't wait to see the footage that these guys shot while I was away. I'm sure it's all perfect. And I can't wait to get back to work because I've been driving around and doing other stuff, but I've been itching to get back to some wrenching. So that's it for this Dirt Daily. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Steer Smarts for having us out here. Thanks to Tony's boss who somehow conned us into this project.
Yeah.
And thanks to Tony's future wife for putting up with him being here.
That's true.
Working on this thing.
Thanks, Natalie.
It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it, Natalie. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be the best thing ever.
It's going to be the best thing ever. All right, that's it for this Dirt Daily. We'll see you guys next time.